some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah, hope I get away with it. Oh, the doo-dah day.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Stupid O'Clock, the Thursday night edition. I'm Joe. Down below me is the other Joe. Over to my side's Dan, and over in the corner, sitting in the corner is Baby. I mean John Scarborough.
Nobody puts Baby in a corner.
Yeah. Joe?
Yes. Oh, you got it.
Yeah. What?
Looks good.
Out, cat, out.
Oh, did you know that your back building was open? I mean, your little building was open? Got the lights on?
All right, I'll get it. Okay.
And that word from our sponsor.
Yeah. But yeah, I got it.
Excellent.
That's it, ain't it, Dan?
Yeah, it's as close as you can find. It might as well have BBC props department carved into it.
I would call that close enough for state work.
Yeah. Of course, I'm going to be talking to my neighbor this weekend about building a little box to put it in. It'll be about this big. Actually, I want this box to fit inside it. That way I've got plenty of room. And then I'll find me some good blue velvet. What, a royal blue, Dan?
I would say, yeah, that would be a fitting color.
Yeah. Velvet to go inside to lay it on.
Now, if only you could get the box carved and painted like a TARDIS. Hey, you could probably 3D print that, Joe. You wouldn't have to get no wood carving done.
Sounds like a lot of work.
A little TARDIS that lays on its side.
Yeah. Or make it full size stand up when you open up the screwdrivers inside. So.
That would look good.
Yeah.
What were the
opening bid? $100.
what was the liquor bottle that used to come like that, where you had the little latch and you opened it and it had the little velvet display case?
Maker's Mark. Maker's Mark.
Oh, one of them. I can't remember.
Joe, are you looking for me a TARDIS STL?
No. I don't know. My brain's lagging tonight. Worse than usual. I dealt with a lot of IT stuff at work today.
Oh, you saw my response to the message you sent, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I figured you would have something good to say about that one.
And I nailed it too, right?
Oh, you did. I mean, hell, the amount of times I've thought about, just looking at somebody going, "Hello, are you in there?"
And the higher in management, the more you want to say it.
This is
Said it if you
actually
said it
a
through the
a
management.
natural law.
Do you have now, as you become management, do you take medication to destroy the brain cells, or do they surgically remove them?
It's called alcohol. Normally in management, you end up drinking copious amounts more.
Damn, I was in the wrong career.
One of my bosses.
Mainly because one, you need it to numb the pain. Two, you can actually afford it.
Yeah, you can afford the good stuff then. What, Dan?
Oh, I just popping my neck.
Looks like you was thinking.
It always looks like I'm thinking. Doesn't mean anything's actually working up there.
Oh, so you were upper management.
Actually, I was the guy that upper management came to. We need this kind of paperwork. Can you make it happen? Oh,
No, Dan, as much as I love my job, that had I been in your situation at my job when I left, I would have just deleted all those spreadsheets.
I did exactly the opposite. I made a secret directory and hid them in the company network, as well as left them exactly where I had been telling my supervisors where they were, and they still couldn't look them up. Plus, I copied them onto a thumb drive and gave them to my original supervisor, who was by then the assistant plant manager, and I'm sure he's probably running the plant by now.
Mm. Oh, yeah. Joe, they have, where I work, I talked with somebody yesterday. You know that saying of how stupid can somebody be?
Yeah, you never ask that because then they try and prove how
And-
right you are.
Yeah.
Take it as a personal challenge.
Pretty much.
There are people that come in from being out in the field all day
Mhm.
and get written up for a rule that they instituted at 9 in the morning.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, but they leave the yards at 7:30.
Yeah. Like I said, that sounds about right. It's a government job. What do you expect?
I'll never forget when a bunch of us got written up for something, and they said it's posted on the bulletin board. When'd you post it? 9 this morning. The next morning, the mayor shows up, walks up, looks at it, tries to open it, and he goes, "Who's got the key to this?" I have never seen so many general foremen knock each other out of the way to unlock something for the mayor. He reaches up, doesn't unpin it, yanks it down. He goes, "I'll be back." And told everybody, don't leave the building. 15 minutes later, superintendent and mayor are standing in front of the microphone in our area.
Mm-hmm.
And the mayor calls everybody's attention and says, Mr. Templeton has something to say to y'all. We're not going to enforce this rule. It's been brought to my attention. It's not proper. And anybody that was written up for this yesterday, it's being removed from your files.
Lovely how that works.
Yeah, then Mr. Templeton took a month vacation.
I wonder which relative the mayor had working there that got wrote up.
Funny, I was just thinking
What
the same
relative?
thing.
Wasn't a relative.
We were out scoping roads one year, and we had to we were down along Highway 30 in the Hobart Maryville area, and we came across the Crown Point unit. They were out patching potholes along the highway. We pulled down one of the little side access roads, rolled down the window. My buddy in the front seat had the clipboard. He's looking over at him, acting like he's writing stuff down. I got my digital camera up, acting like I'm taking pictures. You've never seen so many hands fly for seatbelts in your life. Yeah, they found out it was us a couple days later.
Yeah, well, I always wore my seatbelt. Hell, that damn air ride seat, you got to.
Dude, yeah, no shit.
Little as I am.
The 8-wheeled truck the Army has, the Hemmets, one of the
Yeah.
big,
The
wake
Oshkosh.
nose. Yeah. They've got the air ride seats. We'd be driving down around Moccasin Bend. We'd hit that first overpass there where it goes over the road down below there, or they got train tracks and roads. So
Yeah.
3 or 4 of them you hit.
Joe, that's where you come through Chattanooga and you go by the river, and then it turns to go up the ridge. That's where he's talking about.
And you'd hit those expansion joints. Boom! Wait a minute, let me do this right. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, remember before they fixed that road?
No, no, I thought they put that in on purpose. Wake up the truck drivers.
I don't know if it's been so long since I've actually driven in Atlanta, but there was a stretch of 85 that was exactly that.
Yeah, the base set they put in like 10 inches of concrete, but the base fails underneath it, so that the slabs do this. Joe knows what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Dan, I was watching the Y-Files tonight,
Yeah.
and they were talking about an incident. And when they mentioned the highway number, about fell on the floor laughing. Do you know what the highway that the Roswell incident happened on?
Roswell was out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
No, it was just north of.
Yeah. Well, do you know what the number of the highway was?
No.
285.
No wonder there was a wreck. Somebody missed their exits. What it was.
Joe, Atlanta, there are 3 things guaranteed in Atlanta: death, taxes, and construction on 285.
Oh, you forgot one.
What?
A road called Peachtree.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, well, take your pick.
There are 300 roads in Atlanta named Peachtree.
There's a Newport Avenue that kind of winds in between one road in Portage. Crosses about 4 times.
We got a few neighborhoods like that. I was out delivering pizza and got in this neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
I got plumb lost in this neighborhood. Like you said, the road switches back on each other so many times. I actually stopped myself and asked for directions.
There's one road in the next county. It's got one name on one end of it. Then the middle of it has a totally different name. Then the far end of it goes back to the original name. Makes it really hard when somebody just tells you the road name and not their mailing address.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, there's a road here in town. One side of the street is named one thing, the other side of the street's named something else. Because that's the split line from one city to another.
Hmm.
And actually, one side of the road's one zip code, the other side of the road's a different zip code.
So there's actually a road. The buddy of mine got a phone call one night. This is when cell phones were just becoming more mainstream, but it was before the smartphones where everybody had GPS. Yeah. And he gets a call one night from a friend of his. He goes, "Hey man, I'm lost." He goes, "I know you know these back roads. Here's where I'm trying to get to." He's like, "Okay." He goes, "Tell me the next intersection you come up to." And about 30 seconds later, he goes, "Okay, I'm at the corner of Smoke and Division Road." He goes, "You're literally at the center of the damn county. That is literally County Road 0 and County Road 0. He goes, "Which way are you heading?" He goes, "I don't know." "All right, keep heading the same direction. Tell me the next road you come up to." "Well, you can't tell me which way to turn?" "No, because I don't know if you're heading north, south, east, or west right now. I need to know if it's the next road is County Road 100 north, south, east, or west."
Yeah.
Oh, Lindsay cracks me up. She will be trying to give me directions to go down such and such a road. You got to remember, there weren't any names on these roads when I started driving. You go, "Oh yeah, you know the one the preacher lives on, that one. Where that old barn burned down 30 years ago."
Dan, Joe, John won't understand this. You're driving. Wife is over here. You're driving down the road. She knows where you're going. You don't. "Yeah, you need to turn right here."
As you sail past it at 50 miles an hour.
Yeah. Joe's been there.
Actually, not so much with Trey. She's generally pretty good about actually giving proper directions.
When y'all first got together?
No, because I pretty much always knew where we were going.
Mm.
There was one time I kind of pulled something like that on my mother, though. We were coming back from visiting cousins up in Minnesota, and I had fallen asleep in the passenger seat, and she was trying to find, I think she was trying to spot the exit to I-94. And she wakes me up. She goes, "Okay, this is the exit I'm looking for. Let me know if you see the sign." About 5 seconds ago, you mean that one? Shit.
That's what I do like about the GPS built in the phone. In 2 miles, you need to get into the right lane.
And
That gives you at least a minute and a half the way I drive. But
and you know what the Murphy's Law, the corollary to that GPS announcement?
what?
Ain't nobody gonna let you in the right lane for 7 miles. I got to go down the hall. I'll be right back. Let me turn the camera
Right.
on.
Oh. Joe, have you ever been an asphalt slinger?
Just patch, like not actually working with actual paving crew. I've slung patch.
No. No, paving crews are an interesting bunch.
Oh, that's no lie. That is no lie.
I'll never forget when I went to work for the city. They put me out on a asphalt crew, and the old guy calls the truck back. We got this nice hole, and he goes and turns around and walks away.
Oh no. Oh Lord.
The rest of the crew went and got water. He goes, "New man, you shovel." That's how I learned. My problem is I have no depth perception. Trying to see high and low spots,
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
And it's not exactly the easiest thing to see to begin with on that asphalt.
Yeah.
No, we were out slinging patch the one day. It's cold out. It's windy. I'm out there in nothing more than my safety vest, hard hat, got a t-shirt with a long john on underneath it, some long john pants, and blue jeans. I'm out there. I'm perfectly fine. I'm going to town. One of the crew leaders looks at me and goes, "How the hell are you not freezing?" Because I'm actually doing work, unlike the rest of you guys. I'm the one in the back of this pickup truck slinging the pickaxe, trying to break this shit back up.
The heat's in the work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of those guys wouldn't know work if it actually jumped up and bit them in the ass, though.
Now, I did work on a asphalt curb machine.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, I was driving the truck and not slinging it. And they actually, smartest thing I've ever seen them do is they had a lefty and a right-hander working on the truck. But the right hand guy was slinging 4-1 on that guy, on the lefty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can, look out, watch through the mirror, and I know whose shovel load was which. I got to count, it was 4-1. On 10 tons.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how you unloaded the truck, was by shovel. There wasn't no auger. When they got the auger, that poor guy didn't know what to do. He's one that worked. I mean, asphalt hits the ground, guys would stand back. I mean, because it looked like Tasmanian devil with a shovel.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd work like that, day in, day out, day in, day out. And I told him, I said, dude, you need to slow down, let some of these other guys do some of the work. Well, of course, he was a Bible thumper guy. He goes, I gotta do my witnessing by showing what hard work is. I said, yeah, and it's gonna kill you. Don't.
Mm-hmm.
They had to make him retire at 70. Still slinging shovel.
God bless the man.
Yeah.
Hmm?
And I heard that he's in such bad health now after only 6 years of retirement.
Mm-hmm. Some of those guys, retirement's the worst thing for them.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how many of the old timers at the state that all jumped out when they were doing something that was going to screw with the retirement plan.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them. They've been there so long that when they ran the numbers, if they stuck around, they were going to end up losing like $400 a month.
Yeah.
And there were several of them that didn't even get a chance to collect their first pension check.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I actually did lose a little bit of my retirement money for sticking around past the age that the company wanted me to retire at. But I had to wait till I could draw my Social Security.
Mm-hmm.
So, extra year and a half.
Shoot, I'm making more now staying home than I was killing myself.
Same here.
I'm still struggling, but
I ain't even struggling.
But I've paid off more bills in the last 10 years than I could working. Of course, I'm not having $60 a week in gas bill, fuel bill, plus lunch.
Yeah.
I would take my lunch, but hell, that wasn't enough. Of course, at the time, when the back gave out on me, I was 180 pounds.
Mm.
So in other words, you could tell I was struggling. Hell yeah, Carl, exactly.
Exactly. I was just thinking the same thing. I'm having to keep a watch on the odometer in all the vehicles so we can get the oil changed on time. Because 3 months will pass and I ain't gone 1,000 miles.
Well, it depends on how past that 3 months. If I look like I can go 4 months and still not get that 3,000 in, I'll wait.
Let's see. I think I've only put about 1,200 miles on the truck since I bought it in November.
I put that on my car in the last 6 weeks.
And Lindsay don't put too many miles on her car. Just go into the church and back because that's only 2 miles away.
Dan, you can make it 6 months oil change on her car.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I probably could. But we're soon as it rolls over that 3,000 miles, it's going to the shop to get the oil changed.
These people that 3,000 or 3 months, no, don't wait. Of course, truck gets an oil change this year. Truck only gets an oil change about every 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
What are you running in it, synthetic or regular?
Regular. But when you only put 3,000 miles on it in 2 years,
Yeah, I figure if I keep on like I'm going, it'll take me quite a while to drive to the Dollar General and the hardware store and the convenience store to build up 3,000 miles. I mean, the furthest away I'm having to go, unless I'm going to the next county for something, is only about 7 miles one way. Well, Carl, I'm not the least bit surprised. I don't know that I could drive that far just for a weekend convention. I mean, I don't have to drive anywhere near that far. Y'all have to cross several state lines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, outside of heading to Fisher's every once in a while, Holocon's my longest trip.
well, I do appreciate the long drives you make for it.
Well, we all do. We all appreciate it. Y'all are fun people to hang out with.
Yeah, my wife's all right.
Well, Carl and Dawn,
Well, them too.
yeah.
But I have to endure her for that whole trip down and back.
Dawn?
No, my wife.
Oh,
Hey, Joe, you know what helps? Double dose of Dramamine or Benadryl.
it makes it difficult to drive, but really the noise just kind of keeps you going. Oh.
Which Joe's he talking about?
Take your pick.
My great grandfather invented something to cut down on the noise in the car. It goes over our mouth.
So that's who invented duct tape. No, I'm pretty lucky in that respect. About 30 minutes into a long trip, Lindsay's asleep. She'll wake up when I hit some heavy traffic somewhere, or I have to cuss some driver out for being totally stupid.
Don, Carl, that is a good question. Where has she
Yep.
been the last couple months?
Hurting.
Yeah, I know she was having some technical difficulties the other day. She wasn't on my stream last night. Her back was hurting, so the office chair was not her friend, in her words.
I know that one really well. And this is a new chair. I think I will invent a new office chair test. Before I put any money down on it, I'm going to see if I can sit back and go to sleep in it. If I can do
Dan,
that.
have you seen the ones that you lean back so far and you either push down on the handles or pull up on the side handles and the bottom will flip out like a recliner?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't have enough room under the desk for that. No, that was not a joke of any kind. Underneath in the cubby of the desk is storage for things like my ammo box and
I got to keep leg room under. Now, of course, if I did that, I'd have to sit here. And of course, I need to get up close to the camera so y'all can see how pretty I am.
Sure.
And, you know, Carl and Donna can see how great looking I am. It's just hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way.
I wouldn't know.
I can't wait to look in the mirror. I get better looking every day. I've noticed John keeps muting his. Whenever I say something, John keeps muting his mic like, oh, I ain't going to say it. I ain't going to say it.
No, he's writing it down. You'll get a long letter. Ain't even going to be email.
Oh.
Oh.
Joe, have you got the 3D people wanting to create designs for you messages yet?
I have not.
I got my third one today. I could tell exactly where it was going and all that. It's like, hey, I'm going, hi, how are you doing? I'm great. How about you? I said, wonderful. How do I know you? The next question is, can I tell you something about me?
Oh, Lord.
That's when it hits. I said, let me guess. You're going to come out of the closet and you want me to be your first gay lover. And then I follow that up with, I only top and I don't swallow. Usually I get blocked.
I can't imagine why.
I always get the ones that's trying to sell me something, but it's usually not an email. It's usually somebody trolling through Messenger.
Yeah. I love getting with them on messengers.
I just act like I can't. I'm so completely stupid. I can't even figure out what it is they're trying to sell me. I just act like they're not trying to sell me anything. Oh, we're just having a conversation.
Well, this one goes, I told him, I said, I design all my stuff and all that. And then I said, honestly, I don't think your printer can do what mine does. He goes, yeah, I bet. I said, it's 8 color, 430 by 430 by $482. What the hell kind of printer have you got? I said, it's custom built. I call it an El Bambrusa. Three of the best printers out there.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he came back with, who writes your code? I said, my grandson. He's 10.
Yeah, I haven't gotten anybody want me to buy services from them, but I'm sure that day will come.
Yes.
Of course, I'm usually I usually get the, did you know you can get this government grant?
Oh, yeah.
I love those.
Yeah.
I usually reply, why should I want to do that? I got more money than I know what to do with now.
Oh,
I got more money than them anyway.
Which ain't too hard to do nowadays.
usually it's the ones that spoof friends of mine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's when I have fun.
I had one trying to pretend to be somebody whose funeral I had already attended. Good friend of mine up until he died.
Oh. I had one pretend to be my dad.
Oh, I remember that one.
Did I ever tell you that story, Joe?
No, I don't think so.
Now, how are you doing? I said, okay. How are you? And it's like, oh, I'm doing wonderful. You seem a little shaken. Yeah, because Daddy, I just went to your funeral yesterday. Blocked.
I had one that was trying to spoof my dead uncle's account. And it was about 2 years after he died. I get a Facebook message. I look at it. I'm like, well, they're dead. Hey, how are you? I'm good. I see they finally got Wi-Fi down in hell. No response.
Sometimes it's a blessing to be able to adopt my local accent when I'm on the phone. It's so easy for somebody else who's trying to put one over on me to believe that I am as stupid as I sound. Oh.
Yeah. The spoofed phone number calls are fun now.
Oh,
Joe's Pizza Parlor. What's your order? Or the one trying to, do you have Medicaid Part A and B?
Oh, God.
You get that one too?
All the time, and I love screwing with them. When I have the time to screw with them.
Well, if you ever get any that are Indian,
Which is all of them.
How are you doing? I'm doing great, Beta. How are you? Excuse me? Beta, how are you? You know what beta means? Son.
Ah.
So how's things going in Bengali? There you go. Have you ever had a pierogi? Click. You know who pierogi is, don't you?
Outside of the food, no.
Look up scammer payback.
Oh yes,
Okay, I've seen a lot of his videos.
He goes by pierogi.
I like it when he's looking at them through their own cameras
Yeah.
pointed down in the room and then starts talking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's so and so? Who's that cute girl sitting next to you?
Yeah, I mean, you with the blue shirt.
I loved it when Mark Rober got involved with him. Sent the live palmetto bug cockroaches, and they opened the package in the office, and hundreds. Should have sent the German cockroaches. Those are more like an invasion. All you need's one. Ooh. They have found a natural predator to the German cockroach. I am not going to allow them to bring them to the United States. Huntsman spiders.
No.
What? What, Dan?
No. We are not importing any animals from Australia.
No.
Even if it's teeny tiny and cute and it can't kill you, it still wants to try.
Yeah.
And try it will.
Not a fly. Oh, Joe, have you seen that video where somebody it looks like a tarantula and they feed this tarantula this piece of meat and it grabs it and goes, "Arr."
Oh, yeah.
When did they start growling?
I don't know. I'm afraid to know.
No.
I think it was when I started hunting pigeons.
No. Well, Dan, I'll tell you, this spider could saddle up a pigeon and fly it.
That's why they're successful in hunting them. I just kind of rear up and snatch them out of the sky.
Yeah, tarantula his. No, Carl, this thing growled. Growled like a wolf.
Mm-hmm.
And he's owned wolves, so.
It's like, no. Oh. Wolf. Did you see the thing I posted, the meme I posted about what would you do if you get attacked by a werewolf? Would shoot it? No, I'd feed it chocolate.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Chocolate? What? Oh, you bastard. Okay, Carl. You know that I'm trying to write that scene. Where somebody's being attacked by a werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got, the bar of semi-sweet baker's chocolate. Feeding it to the wolf, the werewolf.
Why do I get the feeling that's going to turn into a Three Stooges sketch? Because I know you too well.
No, no. It would be the actual evil. Of course, that's sort of like the crazy question I asked. If a zombie bit a vampire, would it cure the zombie into a vampire? Or would the vampire become a zombie?
People have made up so many kinds of zombies now, it'd be hard to give a short answer to that.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the shumbling zombie. These, Jesse Owen vampires, no. Or zombies, no. We don't need a zombie that can run 30 miles an hour.
And make things interesting.
Briefly.
Briefly.
Not with the price of ammunition these days. I
That's
can't
true.
afford that many shotgun shells.
Oh, have y'all seen Dave Chappelle thing talking about he bought him some property, like a big farm property, and said he saw some white dude walking across his property with the shotgun with rifle hanging over his shoulder. Look up and go, "Hey, how you doing?" "I'm doing good." "Yeah. I hopped in my car and went to the gun store. I want a shotgun." The guy says, "All right, here. Mossberg." He goes, "What kind of shells do you want?" He goes, "What kind of shells he got?" He said he put this big box up on the counter. It says, one of them had a duck. I grabbed another one, put another one up, and it had a deer on it. He said, "Now this is what you want for, pepper him up a little bit." And he goes, "Okay, I don't know if I want pepper. What's this one do with the deer?" He goes, "That's a whole different story. That'll blow a hole clean through a man." He goes, "I don't need that." He goes, "What have you got with a white man with a shotgun trespassing on my property?"
Goes to the back, comes back with a box of police ammo.
Oh,
Oh.
I've heard police departments are not allowed to keep the rubber bullets in the freezer no more.
Mm.
That got John's attention.
No, I was watching puppies.
Oh,
I don't know of any self-respecting cops down here that would even know where to buy a box of rubber bullets. They want black talons or nothing.
I've got some 12 gauge rubber bullets.
you got what?
I've got some 12 gauge rubber bullets. They're a little bit harder than super bounce balls, but not by much. It's a lot like hitting somebody with a baseball bat. So
Ain't gonna kill them. They dang gonna know.
depends on where you hit them, but
Headshot. Yeah, headshot would.
throat, headshot.
Now
Nut shot. No, you
they
just
are making shotgun slug-sized taser rounds that you can fire out of a flare gun. I mean, you looking down a muzzle of a gun that's like this big around, and you see wires coming out the end. It's got a self-contained charge in it. You don't even have to have wires trailing back to the.
It
Good
works
night,
like
Aunt Donna.
works like a camera flash.
Good night.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know that I trust those.
The cop that got assigned to be a target for one said it was a thoroughly unpleasant experience after they picked him up off the ground.
My problem is from military history, electronics and high-speed munitions don't work well together. Okay.
I would credit that, yes.
Well, I've watched enough videos that I will not be the guy that helps support the woman when she has to get her tasing done.
Skin is conductive.
No, have you ever seen the video where the one girl gets tased and the guy didn't quite have a hold of her arm? Her arm came straight down and grabbed a big old hunk of.
She got the left and the right.
And the center. And that poor boy didn't get none for a while.
Probably didn't want any. Of course, everybody else was laughing at him.
Of course, the one I like too. I was just seeing this the other day on Facebook. Guy's out with his kid, and they're fishing. The kid catches a nice sized bass, and the dad's trying to show him how to, he pulls it up out of the water, showing him how to get a hold of it and get the hook out. So he grabs it and he's showing the kid, and that fish starts flopping and popped him right in the nuts. I mean, just. And the kid's over there holding the fishing rod and just starts laughing his ass off.
I felt bad for the man.
We used to have to pop the open ends of the plastic bags that we put the insulation in. They're like 18 inches square by 70 inches long, but they had some short ones for a different product.
Mm-hmm.
You had to watch it with those short ones because they seem to whip crack at exactly the right height to make your day miserable from that point on. And the women would just laugh.
Oh, you've heard of Fat Electrician, Dan.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard Tales by Ox?
I don't think so.
This guy was 101st Airborne. And I think he was in I can't remember if it was Vietnam or Korea. But there was this one guy that had carried the one that goes boom, boom. And he was a tall guy. Something happened. He poked his head up. They saw his head snap back. And he lifted his head back up. He looked, his eyes was crossed. The bullet went through the metal, but the plastic liner, it ran around the plastic liner and out the back.
Oh.
Luckiest man alive. When that happened, the hill went silent. They said his head was rattly. He's just looking around, stood up in the middle of all this. And took a few steps forward, fell face first, and rolled down the hill out of the firefight. After, he rolled down, everybody just sort of, you could see everybody poke their head up, look, back down. It's just out of respect.
You shoot a man through his hat and he still gets up, takes a couple of steps. You don't know what he's going to do next.
You really don't want to be around to find out.
He refused to be medevac back out, wanted to go back into battle. Couldn't hear anything for nearly a month because his head was still ringing. I would love to hear the fat electrician tell that story.
Mm-hmm.
Suggest it to him. He'll do the research. You just let him know. You just let him know the dude's name and what you heard happened, and ask if this is real. And Nick will take time out of his day to look up all the records and everything.
I love the story where he was talking about the worst tank ever built.
Oh yes,
the Sergeant York.
You do not put a heat seeker on something where half of Congress is sitting on metal bleachers trying to decide whether or not you get to keep your budget.
First thing this gun did, Joe, was lock in on the shitter.
It was designed to track helicopter. They had programmed the radar for this thing to track helicopters, and the best way to spot a helicopter on radar is by the blades spinning. So they're bringing the helicopter drone out on the range for it to shoot at, and they flipped it to active and started scanning for the rotor blades, locked on to the fan in the shitter at the other end of the range, spun the guns around 90 degrees and blew the hell out of the shitter.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, actually, I don't think they pulled the trigger, but they couldn't get it to quit targeting the shitter, so it failed the test. So.
Yeah,
and that same gun, strangely enough, is sitting at the National Guard Armory up in northeastern Tennessee.
It's too dangerous to get rid of. Congress is afraid it'll come after them.
I am of the opinion we needed to build a lot more of those guns.
And the thing was, they brought Alvin York's widow to the thing. And she was sitting on the bleachers when this thing swung around and targeted. They said, you ain't never seen so many congressmen move. They were broke ankles, sprayed ankles, busted arms from people diving off that bench. And left this 85-year-old woman sitting right there in the middle of it.
She was not impressed with the tank.
No. She says, don't you ever attempt to name anything after my husband. Oh. He has some good stories.
He does.
And some descriptions that are just... what's the one? Mock Jesus, mock fuck.
Warheads on foreheads.
Yeah.
I love the warheads on foreheads.
And you don't fuck with the Americans' boats.
Yeah. Don't touch our boats. Even the little ones. We get upset about that.
Oh, you heard about
so slightly.
Russia is now having there's an $8,000 and a $12,000 package to where they take you on a boat and take you through the strait that the Somali pirates are, and you get to shoot the Somali pirates if they try to attack your boat. There's a waiting list.
Do you have to bring your own gun?
No, they supply you with the 50 cal and what else is it, John? I know you've heard the story.
No, I have not heard the story. But
I would guess a 50 and a 30. Or a
Uh,
50 or a 30.
Yeah. And you get to man the gun. And they say, if you see anything coming, exactly, Carl, Pirates of the Caribbean with live rounds.
Mm-hmm.
oh, you're talking about his widow being there for the gun test. Well, if you go up to Pall Mall, Tennessee, and you go up to the old Alvin C. York home, that's where they've got that gun sitting.
That's one of them. They had two. The one that locked in on Congress is at another military place in Ohio.
You'd think they wanted to get it further away from Washington than that.
No. He shows at the end the guy explaining the story. He goes, "This is that gun." He goes, "Why can't we make more of them?" He goes, "That's why it's here." They didn't demill it.
Oh.
That one would actually be hard to demill because those barrels are actually pretty easy to get. They've all been using that same gun system since before World War II. So.
Hey, if it's effective.
Hey, if it works,
Mm-hmm.
don't try and fix it. I like the Doom Turtle one. The heavy tank that took so long to develop that it never even got to do anything. It was so damn slow.
And then they lost it.
Oh yeah, that's
then
right.
They found
They
it
did.
again.
He was talking about the one guy who was MacSog. Is that what they call it, John?
Yes. MacSog, Vietnam, MacSog. There were some other places.
Yeah. This one guy was part of that, and there was a group that was pinned down. So he hops a helicopter. The only thing he took was his combat knife and his med kit. They getting worst damn firefight they'd ever seen. They call in super tweets to, they actually the team had accidentally stumbled upon a North Vietnam forward base with machine gun nests and everything. And they're loading, of course, he's loading people out, super tweet. Pilot gets shot, that helicopter crashes. They call another one in to get him. He ends up getting shot all up too. But in the process of pulling people out, he loaded in 2 North Vietnamese soldiers that had been shot.
They just grabbing anybody that was bleeding and dragging them towards the still working helicopter.
Yeah. Ended up, he was they called him the Godfather of the Green Berets. can't remember his name. He was from Texas.
Oh, I can't look it up right now. Not unless Nick's got another video that I could just go to his channel.
It's called Godfather of the Green Berets. But yeah, that was a good story. And he ended up getting the Medal of Honor for it. But because where it happened, he couldn't get the Medal of Honor. They had to reword some stuff. And President Reagan presented it to him. A year later, he gets a letter saying, your benefits are now denied.
Roy Benavidez,
But that's him.
the real Rambo.
Yeah. At the very end, it has him telling the story about it. His jaw was broke. He'd been shot and stabbed I don't know how many times. And they were zipping him up in a body bag. And said, one guy goes, that's Benavidez. That's Benavidez. Make sure he's not dead. Oh, well, he's already dead. I'm sure he's dead. And he convinced the other guy convinced the doctor to unzip it, check his heart, check if he was breathing. He said, I felt that guy. Doctor put his hand on my chest. After he done zipped me into that body bag, and I cocked a loogie right dead in his face. Best shot I ever made. Yeah. Yeah, Fat Hat Electricians.
Very entertaining. I subscribed to him a long time ago.
And just when you think he can't come up with another story, he finds something.
Oh, yeah.
He
And
tells stories we're not supposed to know.
yeah. And on the Unsubscribed podcast, they sometimes get some guest speakers, like a 102-year-old Army veteran who was in so much stuff it sounds like a history book all the way through his life, and a couple of other people that were they were on the beach at Normandy. Made it all the way through Germany and lived to come home and turn into guys that look just exactly like my grandfather. You still wouldn't want to fuck with them.
I wonder if he's done a story on the Battle of Athens.
Civil War or Greek?
Post World War II.
Post World War II.
Oh,
You never heard that story, Dan?
I may have, but not in that context.
Bunch of World War II veterans, come home. The sheriff had gone corrupt. The mayor had gone corrupt.
Now, is that Athens, Tennessee, or Athens, Georgia?
Athens, Tennessee.
Okay, because we had something similar down here, but they went to a bar instead of shooting everything up.
No, these guys took over the jail.
Yeah, I remember it. I wasn't there, but I remember hearing about the story. Let me clarify that before somebody decides to call me an old god of Appalachia again.
I love that story. I could sit and listen to the old veterans talk for days. We did homeschooling with my daughter for a year, and I taught her American history, the real American history.
But she had to get school grades on the approved. version.
No. Just checked it off.
Oh, homeschooling? Yeah.
Yeah, homeschooling. She there was a let's see, there was a B-17 and a B-24 came into town. So as part of, her schooling, we went to do a tour of these things. And there was this old guy there standing there looking at it. I could tell he was, he was a veteran of World War II. He was sitting there talking, I said, "You seem to know a lot about this old bird." He said, "Yep." I told him what I was doing, my daughter and all that. He goes, "Oh, really?" He goes, "That was my position on this plane." Pointed to the side gun,
Waist gunners.
waist gunner. And he goes, "Can I tell her some stuff?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "It's some rough stuff." I said, "She needs to know this stuff." Him and her went up in that B-17, stood there at that gun, and he began telling her the shit. I was crying like a baby. She was just aghast. His wife was crying, and he was crying a little. They talked for nearly 2 hours.
Wow.
And his wife comes up and says, "Thank you." That's the first time he's opened up. And all right. And, she gave us, phone numbers and addresses and all this, and she exchanged email. She actually did email. I mean, of course, this was, early 2000s, but they did email. A week later, I got an email from her. He passed away in his sleep.
Need that person to pass the story on to.
Yeah. She said that's the most peaceful he's been since they'd been together.
Respect.
Only thing I wish is I had a damn camera running.
Or at least a tape recorder.
Yeah. It was, some of that stuff was horrific. All right, you got about 5 minutes, Dan. But yeah, he was he was describing the sound the bullets made as they ripped through the side of those planes. Ugh. That might be what he needed to get his peace. All right, John, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at a private chat message that says, "Gotta go potty, cover if I'm not back."
You just now seeing that?
Was I not supposed to say that out loud?
Have a good night, Carl.
Yeah, good night, Carl.
Oh, and the bad news is I looked up the Russian pirate cruises. The first thing popped up was Snopes.com.
Yeah.
It's false. It is not true.
Oh, damn.
I know. It's unless you join the U.S. Navy, then you get to go on a Somali pirate cruise. Which is kind of sad right now because everybody down there shooting at everybody. I mean, they got half the damn U.S. Navy down there, a couple carrier groups, and Yemeni pirates or what? No, what are they? The Houthi rebels. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Houthi rebels, and of course, poor old Somali pirates can't get a bullet in edgewise.
Sorry,
Well,
guys. I didn't have 5 minutes.
And I'm not going to be able to stick around for your show, Dan. I got to actually get up, head to my field office, then head to our LaPorte office, and head back to my field office tomorrow morning. Yeah.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. Aunt Donna's not going to be there. If I wind up by myself, I'll just monologue for a few minutes and then play a couple of ads and sign off.
Call it a night.
Yeah, we've got somebody, Lindsay, wants to help me out with yard work and carpentry around the house and stuff. And she wants to make sure that I get up on time. Second day in a row.
Why do people that do work like that want to start so damn early in the morning?
So they can quit so early in the afternoon.
John, do you remember hearing the story about, I think it was it the French or the British ship that the Somali pirates tried to take?
Dutch.
Oh, a Dutch ship? Dutch warship.
It was such a pretty boat, they didn't realize it was a warship.
They climbed on board and there were Dutch Marines sitting there waiting for them.
Be like, stop the first three and then it yelled down. Well, the rest of y'all come up real quick.
You know, they won't do that to the American warships.
We have lasers. Even if you are in the middle of the fire, in the middle of the ocean, you don't really want to be set on fire.
Well, there's one video I was watching. There's one coming in. Guy was, I mean, he was peppering it. Had a 50 go. Boom! They must have set off whatever C4 was in that boat.
Mm.
Yeah, that was in March. That was March 17th, 2010. They picked the wrong.
Boat?
Yep, picked the wrong boat to hijack.
That's when they were just running up on anything. We're taking your boat. That's when we got over and says, "You gonna do what?" Never mind. They learned on the Alabama.
Yeah.
Somehow sent a message for the captain to just get down as low as you can. And that boat went up and down in the waves. And all of them poked their heads up at the same time. Sounded like one gunshot and all of them went dead. Yeah, you don't mess with the SEAL snipers.
Not expect to tell the tale of it, at least.
All right. So, Joe, when are your shows again?
Currently just Wednesdays.
Just Wednesday.
Yeah, stop doing the Monday night show for now because I really don't have anything to do most Mondays that will fill up an hour. So, plus I still have meetings once a month on Monday nights. I got, well, actually 2 meetings now because I've been going to the police commission meeting lately. So yeah, just Wednesday nights. And then
Well, yeah.
oddball streams here and there as I'm working on shit.
And if Dawn actually starts feeling better again and she gets some guests, she can do the Indy 411 on Monday nights,
Yep.
and she will get much more comfortable doing interviews the more she does. She's already
Mhm.
pretty damn good about it.
All right. Well, coming soon, we are going to start doing a lot of Halicon promotion shows.
Halicon? Never heard of it. What is it, Joe?
Stay tuned.
Oh, what was I gonna say? Shit.
You were going to say shit? We knew that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
We would have guessed it.
we tell a lot of that on here.
Oh, with Monday nights being free, hit up Dawn.
Well, you said that wrong.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's okay.
All right.
She'll take it as a compliment.
It's getting close to that time, guys.
Yep.
So we shall say good night, everybody. We'll see y'all Saturday. Anybody that's part of the Stupid O'Clock bunch, if you need a link, just scroll up a little bit because it's there. I promise you. It's the same link it's been for the last few months. Good night, everybody.
Good night, folks.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand, and touched the face of God.